Hello, this is Courtney with C. Clark Creative. Thanks for stopping by. Today I'm using a Turnabout stamp and some heat embossing, showing you how to get it done. So I'm starting off with the Lovely Blossoms Turnabout stamp. I'm using the alignment tool to get that stamp properly aligned, putting the jig in my Misti, getting the X aligned, transferring it to the lid. On the Turnabout jig, you can see the 1, 2, 3, and 4. And you can see the little notches there that help you align. You can have it start with your card, landscape, or portrait. I am starting portrait using my anti-static pouch and stamping with VersaMark ink. Now, this is when you're heat embossing with a Turnabout stamp. Important thing is you have to remove your card panel from that jig. That jig will not hold up to heat embossing. It will warp and it will be ruined. You'll have to buy yourself a new one. So make sure you pull that card panel off before you do your heat embossing. I'm using Ranger Gold embossing powder here, using a brush. I have a little bit of a fingerprint there, so use the brush to just lightly wipe that away. And then I heat set that embossing powder. Now I want to make sure that panel is oriented correctly when I put it back in my jig, so I just use the alignment tool to make sure it's aligned with right side up. Get it, the repositionable adhesive is still on the back of that card, so I just place it back, make the turn, the quarter turn, and stamp and ink. This time I'm using Ranger Copper embossing powder. Heat setting that again. I decided at this point the two colors, just the two turns of stamping was plenty for my card panel. So I'm not completing the third and fourth turns. That's the great thing about Turnabout stamps. You can take it as far or as little as you want to. I also stamped and heat embossed my sentiment. It's from Honeybee Happy Birthday stamp set, and I'm using the coordinating dies. I'm using one of the birthday outlines to cut from the embossing panel. I will be using the negative space for the card here, and then just trimming around the happy and the birthday to make them a little bit easier to work with. So I set aside the actual die cut for birthday. I'll use that on another project. So I flip this card panel over, use some scrapbook.com adhesive foam, and go around the outline of the birthday cut. I use some Kraft tweezers to hold the card panel just so I can carefully align it over the actual embossed birthday. And then adhere that properly, flip it back over and add some more of that adhesive foam to the outside edges of the card panel and put it onto my card base. The card stock I'm using today is Gina Kraft cardstock. I love how the Kraft cardstock looks with the gold and copper embossing powders. I also put a strip of double-sided adhesive, just the flat tape, on the center of that panel just to make sure that card panel is not going anywhere. And then a little bit, and then a little strip of the adhesive on the back of the happy. Pop that right on top, and this card is complete. It's not hard to do heat embossing with Turnabout stamps. You just have to take a couple extra steps to protect your jig. Hope you give it a try, and see you again soon. Bye-bye.